Hey, this is Bradshaw, and I have a special episode of Revolutionize Your Marketing with my co-host, Sean Flannery with Max Lux, and we're going to talk with a special social media guest.
My name's Sean Flannery. I'm the Director of Business Video at Max Lux Media.
And I'm Bradshaw, Head Rebel at REBL Marketing.
And today on the show, we have Heather Bradshaw, and she's running operations at Normandy Digital Marketing Solutions.
Yeah, lots of good info on social media.
I've known Heather for quite a while now, and I'm really looking forward to hearing what she has to say.
We've got Heather Bradshaw with us with Normandy Digital Marketing Solutions, and she is the lady that makes things happen at her agency. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Very excited to be on with you guys today and talk about all things social media.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah, we're excited to jump in. So maybe let's start with the latest and greatest. What's your take on the threads?
Gosh, the latest and greatest. It's always kind of what's new in social media. Threads is through Meta. It's basically Instagram's version of Twitter. And for small businesses, do most of them exist on Twitter? No. And so that's kind of where we're driving people right now is we don't really necessarily need to be on there now. There's a way that social media grows. The first way is through influencers. So when a new platform comes out, the influencers hop on there first and they start trying to grow a following. And then they'll bring the brands that they're already working with. And then the brands will then see other brands that are on there, and then the brands that already aren't on there will want to get on there as well. So there's this kind of life cycle that a social media platform has to go through first, and Threads is very far from that. So definitely your family, your friends should all be on there, but businesses, not quite yet. TikTok's just starting to get there.
Okay. I'm really curious because it's kind of unique that Threads is already in this whole Meta ecosystem. Like, do you think it's going to be a lot easier for people because they already have followers on Instagram and followers on Facebook? Do you think they're going to have a heads up or not a head start per se for Meta?
Definitely. Yeah. So when you create a Threads account, you can attach it to your Instagram account. So it'll basically tell all of your followers whenever they make a Threads account, hey, do you want to follow everybody that you're already following on Instagram? Which can be an interesting thing to think about because if you have the same followers on Instagram and the same followers on Threads, you don't want to be producing the same content. So you need to be very conscious of the content that's going on the cross platforms. So to answer your question, yes, it'll probably help people that have a larger Instagram following get a grow on Threads.
So can Threads do like images and video as well, or is it strictly text?
They can do images and videos as well, but it's mainly focused on more casual content than Instagram. It's not as curated. Instagram is more of a highlight feed, where Threads is more in the moment posts.
If you're currently on Twitter, how would you say going to Threads is similar, or is it just completely different approach?
For businesses, well, on Twitter, you're going to see the big businesses and the newscasters and the sports. That's kind of the big Twitter thing. You're just going to see it be a lot more casual. So they want to see the culture behind your business. They're going to want to see the fun new things that are happening. Twitter's more big announcements versus Thread's going to be the day-to-day, in my opinion.
Okay. And with Threads, you said that, all right, we're going to wait and see kind of how it pans out, see when the businesses are ready to jump on there.
Yeah, for us, since our demographic is small businesses, our clients don't have a $250,000 budget to dump into marketing every month. If you're a massive agency or a massive company that has that budget and you're dumping, let's say, $10,000 a month into Threads, that's great. And you do have to dump money into socials to see growth. So for large corporations, they're probably going to get on Threads first. But for your small business owners, if you're trying to optimize your budget, Threads is not going to be the place. It's still going to be Instagram. It's still going to be Facebook and maybe soon TikTok.
Okay, so you're thinking maybe TikTok could be the next addition.
They're getting there. Instagram is a lot of times when you meet with the business or you go to a restaurant or you're whatever you're doing, you hop on Instagram, you look at their socials, you want to see more of what you experienced in the store. And so TikTok's just not there yet because it's kind of like if you go to a restaurant, at least for our age demographic, and they don't have social media, you're kind of like, what's going on here? Like, where's their Instagram? Where's all their content? You're not hopping on TikTok to learn more quite yet. So if TikTok gets there, then it will be vital to also have that for your small business.
That's a good point. It's all about how people interact with the app.
Yeah, totally. Like your Instagram becomes your online business card. So everybody needs to be on Instagram at this point, whether or not you're doing it yourself, you have an agency managing it for you, it is important to be on Instagram.
That's good to know. You mentioned a little bit about budget. And I get it. It's custom to who your business are and what you're doing. But is there maybe a minimum that you give clients to say, at least invest this much into socials?
Yeah. So it depends. So for us, we are an organic growth agency. So we don't dump money into paid socials. So you're going to have to consider your budget with who's producing your content. So for our agency, you're going to have to pay us to come out and produce the content for you, to edit it, to write all the copy for it, and then post it onto your social media. Where we grow the accounts, and this is, I guess, a tip and trick for small business owners, is through engagement. And so what does that look like? It's going to businesses that have a similar demographic to you, where your potential clients exist, and engaging with those accounts and engaging with your potential customers so they see you and your brand awareness grows. So we don't have to spend any money. Time is money. So you are going to have to take some time out of your day. But it's really valuable in growing your reach. You'll see those as soon as you start engaging with other accounts, commenting, liking, resharing, you will see your engagement rate grow exponentially.
So when you talk to your, small business owner clients, is the engagement rate, is that where you're showing them ROI, or how are you saying, hey, look, if this is working, let's stick to the plan, Yeah.
So engagement doesn't necessarily mean ROI, because it doesn't mean people are clicking on the link in your bio. It doesn't mean that they're purchasing from you. The biggest goal for social media is brand awareness. You want them to see your post again and again, your profile again and again. You want to see them commenting on your competitors 3 or 4 times. And they're going to say, oh, what's this account? I've seen them a couple times. Let me go click on their account. If they like the content, then they'll give you a follow. Then they've been following you for a couple weeks. Let's go into the shop. So it's this your storytelling through social media. So it's very hard, unless you're doing paid ads, to draw a direct ROI. So that can be the tricky part, especially when the budget's small for the small businesses. But you can see who's interacting. You can see the growth with who's following. And those numbers are important. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we all work with small businesses. I would say most businesses, it's not just small, it's every size. There's always those that just don't understand why they should be on social. How do you, how do you educate a small business? Like, why do they need to be on social? What's the benefit? You talked a little bit about it, but
yeah, it's definitely brand awareness. And most small businesses have a story behind them. They have a passion behind them, a reason why they started. And the small business owner is normally really passionate about what they do, and they have a story to tell. So that's what the whole point of social media is. So you can have your clients experience why you're doing what you're doing on socials and how amazing you are, so that they learn to love you. Because if they really love your small business, they're going to have some more of you, and they're going to do that through socials. So it's to grow brand awareness and kind of tell your story more.
Yeah, I like that, because everyone needs to tell their story, and social is such a great way to do it.
Yeah, especially through video content, as you know, with Max Lux. It's how you tell the story behind it's how you make them feel something. And that's, at the end of the day, what all marketing is just making somebody feel something and want to invest their emotions and their money into your brand. So, yeah.
Yeah, making those rich connections.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's what I love about video is, if you see someone on video a few times, you almost feel like you've started developing a bit of a relationship there.
And
it really warms up the interaction.
We have a small business owner, the Nada Shop in Encinitas. Samantha is her name, and she's amazing. And she started the Nada Shop because she saw so much waste in the beauty space. So she has a lot of, lotions that you can make yourself. People love Samantha. They love how she talks about things. They want to see her using the products, and that's the story behind the brand. So that's what the social should be. As much as somebody doesn't want to be behind the camera, it can be really beneficial because people buy into you and they love you.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you deal with the shy business owners where you look at him, you're like, wow, you're a rock star. People want to see you. And then they're just like afraid of the camera.
Oh, gosh.
Do you have like a good story of like how you coached him through it?
I mean, Griffin, you remember Griffin, CrossFit Rebuild? You kind of just forget the camera's there eventually. And then you start seeing the content do well. And you're like, okay. And you kind of feel like a little celebrity when you see yourself.
Yeah, it's like people like me. Yeah.
People like you. You have a cool music going in the background, and you really see yourself in action. I think at first it can be daunting, but then it becomes a confidence booster because you look so cool on your social media.
It's
It's
good.
exactly. It's just depersonalizing. I mean, it's like coming here today. I was like, oh gosh, I got to be on a podcast. But then you think about how cool is it going to be that I'm going to have content on myself to post on our socials. So
Yeah.
100%. And you get to talk about what's something you enjoy doing.
totally.
So,
Totally.
and share some expert advice and help others a little bit too.
Yeah.
So-
Social media is definitely what we live and breathe as an agency because we're young. We're all under 30. So it can be a roadblock at first with some small businesses or business owners in general or people that you're networking with. They're like, why the hell should I listen to you, you 20-year-old blonde? What are you talking about? And but our lead social media manager, she's an influencer. She's been, when you think about our generation, we've been on social media since we were 10, 11 years old, probably before we should have been, but that's our generation. And so we live and breathe it every single day. So we're experts in the field. And we might have come right out of college and started doing this, but we've been in the field on socials since we were 10, for 10 years. So we really understand the platforms that we're working on from a consumer perspective and now from a marketing perspective.
It's almost like you guys are fluent in the second language.
Yeah, it does feel like a second language. The algorithms are like, they change all the time. There's not just one on all the different platforms. So it's like taking care of a child or something and like learning how they work. What do they like? What do they not like?
It's dynamic, right? It's not the same every day.
No, and it'll change so fast. And that's what we saw with short form video. Is it was all, let's take the prettiest photo with the right filter and make the feed look amazing. And now it's still important, but it just doesn't really matter anymore.
Yeah.
People want engaging short form content that makes them feel something that they want to save or reshare. If you can make content that people want to send to somebody else, you're golden, because that's just growing your feed and growing your following. Yeah.
So typically, like, what makes content more shareable is providing value. Is usually like how I talk about it.
Yeah.
And I imagine for different small businesses, value looks different.
Totally. Value, relatability, humor. There is a time and place for humor. It's not always professional to be humorous, depending. But you just want something that somebody can relate to. Oh, I've had that feeling before. Or, that is valuable to me. Let me save it for later. Even if they don't end up ever going back to it, they still have saved it. Instagram sees that they like it. They think your content's valuable. They're going to push it to more people. So, yeah.
Yeah, I like that. And I like how you brought up it's like another language, because it really is.
Yeah, it's time consuming.
Yeah, it's complicated, and the algorithms seem to change every day, it feels like. But how do you so you got a young team, and I appreciate that. I don't know if that's on purpose or not, but how do you get a client comfortable to understand, you guys do have the chops because you've been living and breathing it pretty much your whole life?
Yeah, I mean, I think we say just that. We've been living and breathing and doing this our entire life. Also, we've built out a pretty great portfolio. At first, it was kind of hard. It's like, okay, let me hold your hand. Let's work through this together. But I mean, it's what you do when you're in a business. We've done a lot of stuff for free to build our portfolio. We, it's a really hard question. It's hard to gain their trust. It is.
Yeah.
But I think it's confidence.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I think if I show up confident to a client call, if my team members that come onto the scene are confident behind the camera and they know what they're doing, those barriers break down really fast. But if I show up not knowing, I'm not prepared, I don't know what I'm talking about, it's going to lose their trust. So that's the biggest thing with our team, is just being confident and comfortable and educated, because people will listen to you when you speak if you talk that way.
Do you guys have like a process or something you follow
for
just how you engage a client and get them to that point where they're filming and then posting? And
yeah, so initially there's an initial call. Most of the time it's very casual. You'll sit down with Brian and I. We'll just chat about, tell us about your business. Let's get curious. Let's understand where you're at right now. Are you on socials? Who's managing that right now? How much time are you dumping into it? Would you like to not be dumping time into it? Do you want to hand it off to somebody else?
That's an important thing to really say exactly how much time.
Yeah, it's like, what is happening right now? Then you kind of see, how can we help you? So we're providing value. We're going to take this off your hands. You don't have to worry about it anymore. I mean, we've had numerous stories of people. Oh, I go home at the end of the day. I'm spending 3 hours on Instagram. What the hell? I want to be with my kids. And it's like, okay, well, how about we just take that away from you? You don't have to worry about it. We'll just do it ourselves. So the first is a client call. get to know you. We then create a proposal that has everything involved on our end, what we would do, along with a price. If that price is right for you, you find that your time is worth more than what you're currently doing.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah, most of the time it's like, okay, I can see that my time is more valuable. Let's just hand it off to you.
Yep.
And you don't have to worry about it anymore. And then we do a big old questionnaire for all of our clients. They tell us all about their brand. They send us their brand guidelines. They meet with our social media manager. We create a social strategy. We do a competitor analysis. We do mood boards to understand making sure that how you envision your feed is how we envision your feed. We set a date, get content produced, and we get going.
Yeah, I love that. I love the mood board.
Yeah, well, it's really hard to communicate sometimes verbally what you're trying, what you want. Yep. Oh, I want greens and blues and to look this kind of way. Might be different in my head than yours. So let's put it on paper, and that's content's visual. Yeah. You need to see it. Yeah. So mood boards are really helpful because we might miss the mark completely. And God forbid we came and produced content for you and it's absolutely not what you want. So we need to have that agreed upon before we move forward.
Yeah, no, that's great. Because a lot of times it's a feeling. And
it's hard to just, mystical. I want them to feel engaged. What does that look like? How do we do that?
Yeah, I want to feel important, a princess, whatever it is.
Yeah, so making sure that we're on the same page because that's really important because it's all subjective. You know,
examples
it's all
are
subjective.
Huge. Yeah.
If somebody likes a photo or they don't, they like a video or they don't. So,
well, someone told me last year, like, we really want this video and there's a product video for a beverage. We want it to feel empowering.
How does a beverage feel empowering? Let's think.
So yeah, it was quite the journey.
Yeah, I feel like in that sense, also send us your competitors. What do you like? What do you not like?
Yeah.
Then we can figure out, okay, well, maybe they're saying this, but they're meaning this instead because they like this thing about their competitor. So let's try to read between the lines what they like and then go from there too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well said. Yeah. It's tough to communicate things that are abstract and very visual.
Yeah, creative to creative is like your creative vision is totally different with the graphic designers. It's like you can say something and they'll produce something and it's like no. So it's walking that way. Yeah.
And then you brought up strategy. I know like Reb is huge into strategy and marketing. Maybe you could speak a little bit more to like how do you guys approach the strategy aspect of setting them up in the right direction?
Yeah, so strategy-wise, and you can probably speak to this, it's really understanding your target audience first and foremost. Yep. What are they doing? How are they on this platform? If your demographic is 50 to 60-year-olds, I mean, you should still maybe have an Instagram, but let's not dump a bunch into it. So it's understanding the demographic first. Second of all is what kind of content are they consuming right now? How do we recreate that? And then what's trending right now? Should we use the trends or do you kind of stand alone in your brand? What's the story behind the brand? And then figuring out content. And then it really comes down to the engagement strategy wise because we want to see those numbers increasing. We want to see the growth of the follower accounts. And that's all through the time that you spend on your socials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The trends. Okay. So this is what I think drives a lot of creators crazy or not is just, the latest trend, like what the music you're supposed to use this week. Should you be dancing or not dancing? Yeah. Like all of that. Like, how do you keep that under control? Because I feel like you could just spend hours changing and following trends.
Yeah, we do that because we spend all day on socials. We go home at the end of the day. I spend my time on TikTok. Could I be spending my time doing more valuable things? Of course, but most people my age are going on TikTok. And so you know what's trending because you're watching it trend in front of you.
So do you recommend your clients to jump on a trend?
If depends on the platform. Instagram, it's going away from trends. It's more telling your story. It's more about being true to yourself, your brand, the aesthetic. You want it all to look the same. You want your branding to be really strong. With TikTok, the For You page, it's not the people you're following. So on Instagram, you go on, you're following people and Instagram is giving you that content because you like it. You say, I want to see it. The algorithm on TikTok is giving you people that you don't follow. and you're getting that content by what you like, what you're engaging with, and also the trending sounds and what's going on right now. So with TikTok, you need to be very on top of what is trending, what is the trending sound, how do I produce that content? Because the goal is to get onto the For You page and then have people share it, like it, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
That's probably why people see some really impressive rapid growth with TikTok. Is because the way that For You page is set up, right?
Yeah. And it's easier to understand the algorithm on TikTok because I've heard this sound 40 times. Let's maybe make a video with it.
Yeah.
Versus Instagram, how do I make content that's different than somebody else's? Because if you're a video person and you have another video competitor and your content looks the exact same, they're probably not going to follow both of you. So you need to stand out from the rest. Versus TikTok, people are more the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess if that's a good way to put it. It still needs to be original to your brand, but it needs to follow the trends. Follow the skeleton outline, but still be yourself.
Got it. No,
Okay,
makes sense.
it sounds like quite the balancing act, but
Yeah,
I can see why that makes sense.
Yeah, it's just how and they have the best algorithm anywhere. Like it's so tailored to you. Everything you see on your For You page, you love it.
Yeah.
But it does make producing content a little bit harder.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just need that like magic 8-ball so we can like know what's coming.
AI, if AI gets there and we all lose our jobs, but it'll be a lot easier. If it just tells us post this, do that, love that. But yeah, we might all lose our jobs to AI if that's the case.
So what's your backup plan?
You're like, no, I won't accept that. The backup plan, with what you're saying, AI will never take over all of our jobs. At the end of the day, it needs a creative person that understands the humans, what humans want. I joke around in this sense because there's this new AI platform that just came out that can take a YouTube video and read it and then tell you what's the most viral 30 seconds of this. So it'll help us. It enables us to do our jobs faster and then focus more on our own creativity. So it's getting rid of the little task.
I agree, but you still need a human to go,
yes.
Yeah, maybe not.
Well, yeah, you'll see the funny little images of like people's AI produced images and they have 3 fingers or like there still needs to be that wall there.
Yeah, and I'm very hopeful that it's going to be an even more powerful tool.
Exactly,
in the video production world, where we really like our Adobe products at Max Lux Media. And they've been implementing some very powerful AI tools over the last 2-3 years.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about it. Just less headaches at the end of the day.
Just makes the little things easier.
Yeah, and it's like, I know I'll be able to meet that deadline because, that special request is a little less scary because my tools are a little bit more powerful.
Yeah, very cool.
But at the end of the day, you got to have a human, proofreading, checking, making sure that the train's not coming off the rails.
Yeah.
So
we'll use it sometimes to write some copy or help us out with a blog. And it's like, what did it just say? No. We can't put that out there. So, I
wanted to maybe wrap this up with another question that's poised towards the future. What's something that you're excited about in the marketing world, social media, here in the next couple of years?
I think, what am I most excited about? I'm excited for the expansion of TikTok. AI.
To see where TikTok
goes because they just recently launched the TikTok marketplace. I believe I'm using the wrong TikTok shop.
Yeah.
And so you'll see a lot of growth on there with, I think, product-based businesses and how do you get that to work in your favor, use that for marketing. That's going to be a cool new thing. They also more so recently released paid ads on TikTok. And right now we're trying to understand it because they don't give you a lot of information to help. You're really just kind of widely putting it out there. But being able to stay on top of those things. So when clients come to us and they want to do it, we know what we're talking about. So TikTok, I think, is the next big thing. Instagram will not be going away. And we'll see where Threads goes. I don't think it's going to go very far. Yeah.
Do you think TikTok's going to favor more local businesses or businesses that can ship a product?
Right now, I think they're trying to go product based because at the end of the day, all of the platforms, they need to make money themselves. They're making money off of
scalable
ad spend. Yeah. So they're making a little bit off of every product you sell. They're not making money if somebody discovers you and comes into your business.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, when you think about Google or any of the social media platforms, what's their goal in their head? It's to make money off of you.
Yeah.
So it's always probably going to be a little bit more product focused, at least for right now. But hopefully it's small business based. We love small businesses. We want them all to grow. So hopefully it becomes a platform for them as well.
Okay.
Great. Good.
That was some really, my head's just spinning with all the really good information. I'm like, all right, how can I?
Well, thanks for asking
Learn
some
from
great
those.
questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, and if you could tell us, tell the audience how they could find you, your guys' socials, your website.
Yeah, of course. So we're located in Solana Beach, San Diego, right on Cedros. If you ever want to pop into our studio, we're all in person. You can find us on Instagram at normandysolutions.com. We're on Facebook, TikTok, anywhere that socials exist, we are there. normandysolutions.com. We're currently redoing our site, so new and exciting.